Why did the Supergirl actress dress like a dude at the event? I don't know, John. Why did you beat your wife?
So I just finished the Supergirl movie and I am disappointed. Now I don't think it was the worst piece of media ever written like the internet likes to play it up to be. In my opinion, as a movie, I believe it was okay. It was mid. I hate that it was trying to be another Guardians of the Galaxy, but that's not where my disappointment lies. Okay, let's get into it. Okay, book readers who complain about film adaptations, we like to dunk on you a lot, but this time I feel your pain, because prior to seeing the movie, I decided to read Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, the comic the film is based on, and arguably one of the best Supergirl comics to date. Please read it. You literally do not need to understand anything about Supergirl. In fact, I would argue that this comic is the perfect introduction to her character. Please read it. It is literally 8 issues. You can binge read it in an afternoon. You have time to scroll TikTok. You have time to read. And they just straight up butchered the storyline for no reason. They actually did the meme. Like, if the director didn't want to do the comic, like according to this Polygon article, it's fine. But despite saying you didn't want to do the book, you still did the book. You just turned it into Guardians of the Galaxy. You practically adapted the comic beat for beat, bar for bar, meat for meat. But you removed all the substance behind it and turned it into a subpar film. You essentially turned the film into a first draft. I actually want to talk about Supergirl's origins real quick. I hate to sound like that nerd. It's like in the comic, but I feel like it's appropriate here. Like, while their film kept the origin intact with their city being irradiated and slowly poisoning them, the scene they left out was them actually trying to fix the problem. Every remaining Kryptonian working day and night to build a shield to block the radiation. Matter of fact, I'm gonna read it real quick. This is from issue 6. Zor-El's solution was to mass produce lead shields and spread them over every nook and cranny of the exposed land, a makeshift wall between them and the contagion. People were dying and the task was massive. Every hand was required. By the end of the first hour, or how they defined hours then, clinging to the wrist of the now lost world, her wrist ached and blood from her broken blisters dropped down her arm. She switched hands and kept going. By the end of the first 40 hours of uninterrupted work, sleep came hard for her. She could not keep her eyes open. She slammed the hammer into her thigh, breaking the skin there. The snap of pain woke her up and she gathered some more lead. By the end of the first 80 hours, the massive helper's house conceded to exhaustion and acknowledged the impossibility of the task. Thousands of Kryptonians, the last of their planet, lay fallow through the rock, mourning the inevitable coming of death. So she worked alone. That was by far the best moment in the comic. You know, next to her riding a horse to the literal edge of the universe, which I'm not going to explain the context to because I want you to read it. It is literally 8 issues. You can read 8 issues of a story. And I really liked it because it showed the willpower and strength of Krypton, and the movie just completely skipped over that for some reason. You know, her having a flashback of that while she was being healed by the yellow sun, and that's when she decides to put on the suit. I feel that would have been better. Which I also want to talk about the green sun scene. So it's basically an adaptation of issue 5, except in the comic, the main bad guy ended up teleporting Supergirl and them into a planet with the green sun because, you know, he had access to magic. Which, if the film remained faithful to the comic, it would have been the perfect grounds to set up the magic scene for a Zatanna movie. You know, but no, let's just give Gorilla Grodd a show. Yeah, Jimmy Olsen, yep, you know, anything except Wonder Woman. So they ended up getting teleported to a planet with the green sun, and you know, we get like a mini story about a time Superman was stranded on that same planet. But what made that entire scene cool is that we get this little cute moment where Noel is protecting Supergirl from monsters, and we get some more of these character moments, which I feel like the film could have benefited from. And I'm not even gonna get into the whole villain design thing because we can just all agree it's just straight up garbage. They just don't compare. One is just straight up trying to be Guardians of the Galaxy. So yeah, in conclusion, I'm just confused. Like, if your original story is just gonna be a half-assed adaptation of the source material, then just adapt the source material. I kind of feel robbed. Like, we straight up could have gotten this scene. That movie nerfed the girl for no reason. But I don't know, what do you guys think of the movie? My personal opinion, it was mid. Read Woman of Tomorrow. It is a much better version of the film. You can read it in a single morning or an afternoon. It is literally 8 issues long. Like, seriously, how did the director screw up that badly? Like, that had to be the easiest bag to collect.
All right, John, show me what you got.
So, sir, basically, we're basing this movie off of the Woman of Tomorrow comic with fantastic artwork by Bill Kazebli, which, honestly, that's the best part. You know, how colorful everything is, the vibrancy, it looks amazing, and yeah.
So, John, I hear you. I hear you loud and clear, but, I'm thinking poo.
Sorry?
You know, poop from the butt, shit from the ass, everything brown.
But the colors are the best part.
That's gay.
Oh my god, bro.
Everyone wants brown. Brown is in town.